我现在所在的位置是深圳市民中心广场，我的对面就是莲花山。从6月25日开始，深圳每天晚上从莲花山顶点亮全城。从东到西，沿着海岸线铺展的城市光影秀向世界告白，以此隆重庆祝中国共产党成立100周年。此时的南国深圳盐田港码头，万吨巨轮整装待发。居民小区楼宇内的万家灯火透出城市的温度。随着唱支山歌给党听的清澈旋律穿破夜空，城市光影秀掀开了序幕。3条耀眼的光柱点亮城市的夜空，巨大的中国共产党党徽呈现在天穹之上。2021架无人机编队组成一面巨大的党旗，在城市的上空缓缓漂浮。作为中国特色社会主义先行示范区的深圳，这座以人民为中心的城市
As the pioneer zone of economic development, Shenzhen is lit up by the people.
城市之光从深圳最高的平安金融中心顶端蔓延开来。
The light of the city starts by the top of the building, the Ping An Tower, and then it's expanding towards the other corners of the city.
习近平总书记强调，改革开放是决定当代中国命运的关键。
According to General Secretary Xi Jinping, the CPC is playing a crucial role in guiding the further reform and opening up of the country, and today the city of Shenzhen is a great symbol of this pioneering spirit. And with this fleet of drones, we can see the development of this special economic area, and we can even notice the slogans formed by the lights. For example, efficiency is our goal in our economic development. We also noticed a light-lit statue. This shows the courage of the people to always be brave and hold this pioneering spirit. Now we are in Qianhai. In the past, it was only a wetland area, and currently it's all covered by the skyscrapers. And the whole area is pursuing a stream, for example, to be the frontal area to trying out new systems of development and also become a pioneer of the urban development. Currently driven by the 2 experimental zones, now the area has embraced the new window time for the golden development and is marching towards a very beautiful future. Shenzhen City in light looks so young and animated. It also shows that we have a big vision. Currently, the fleet of 2021 drones shows us that historic moment of the docking of the Shenzhou 12 aircraft with the space station. And now we see an eagle, which symbolizes the flight of the city.
新时代的深圳将在以习近平同志为核心的党中央的坚强领导下
In the new era, Shenzhen would continue to march forward under the strong leadership of the CPC Central Committee with Comrade Xi Jinping at its core. We will work harder to write more stories about the spring, and also we will create more achievements for the whole world to see.
央视新闻的各位网友，大家好，我是总台记者王小佩。那么今天呢，我们将通过直播镜头。
Dear viewers of CCTV, my name is Wang Xiaopei. Today we're about to show you around now in Tianjin Municipality, a very brilliant light show to celebrate CPC's centenary. We are now inside one industrial park of the steel production. We have a total area covered by light of more than 30,000 square meters. I'm about to show you some highlights of tonight's light show. And since we'd like to give you more specific details about the show, so we have invited two experts with us for this introduction. This is the director of the show, and that is the executive director. So they are the great experts about this show. So first of all, could you please tell us the current position of ours? This is the show themed as the 100-year of trajectory of the CPC. We have 66 stars, star-formed lights scattered around, and also the circled light. And the whole framework is made of cost-effective material that is usually seen in our daily life. This is the steel, because we are inside one industrial park of the steel manufacturing and production. And we have used this material, the steel, to form the major framework for this statue of light. And is forming this figure 100 to celebrate CPC's centenary. And we have in total structured 1,000 lights inside this framework. And inside this light show area, we have 4 parts: the story of the seal and the heroes, and also the big dream, as well as the history. And we can notice the number 100. It looks like a big gate through which we are entering this show area, and it's like that we are walking through this trajectory of the party over the past 100 years. And it's also a very lucky number, 100. Also scattered on the ground, we have this star-shaped light. In total, we have 66. And this time, how many artists have presented their work here? Also 100 artists. So we have 100 light works created by 100 different artists. Tonight, we are showing you this light show of the light, but it's also very beautiful in daytime because we consider all of these very nice statues. We have just stepped through that big framework of 100, and what about this work in front of us? It's called the Road of Rejuvenation. We have 2 paths here, stretching forward, and we have used the acrylic as the material for the main body of the statue of the light. And we have a base of the cement. It looks very simple. Looks like a basic structure of the coordinates. And by the end of this introduction, I will show you the main materials used in the whole area of the light. For example, for that just mentioned sculpture statue, it's of acrylic, the steel, and also the fiberglass. And over there is a tube-shaped light. It's beautiful in the daytime and also during the nighttime. And the name of that work is called the Radiance. It's a very good symbol of the beautiful life of the people here. It's like we have a very radiant life and radiant development of the whole country. And what about the material applied in this work? We have used stainless steel and also the light glass. And we're about to move forward. This is another work in a cube shape. In total, on the 6 different surfaces of the cubes, we have 6 different themes. We have marked the 6 different surfaces or the faces with the descriptions in the red characters. And those are the descriptions about the characters related to the spirit of the party. For example, the care by the party and the front line of the party. And because the color red is also the symbol of the party, and we have combined the color of the party with this traditional industry of steel. So for this whole sector of steel manufacturing and production to grow over the years, we also need some beliefs or the spirit to support us. And the party spirit is our flag. And this time you have mounted up a light show based on steel. Yes, exactly, because we are factoring to produce the steel. And in a very clever way, you have embedded this character of the steel into the interpretation of the spirit of the party. For example, that resilience of the CPC spirit and also that of the steel. So they correspond. And what about this material? It's of the cement. It has only a thickness of 0.3 centimeters. And it's actually a recycled material. We have different types of it. And it's opaque and semi-transparent. Have you ever calculated how much iron and steel you have applied in mounting up this show? I guess that more than 100 tons of steel. All those are recycled materials. So the recycled steels to make all the statues and also the frameworks of the show. So we can follow this path. Over there, you can notice the frame of the photo. It's called the 100th Spring. This installation shows us that we can reach a new height in our production and also in the development of the factory. You can see some wheels and also the gearboxes, as well as the unused pieces of the steel. So it's very elegant because it's in the form of the album, and it's also very strong in its essence. This is another work with a pine tree in the middle. And we believe that the pine tree is also the symbol of the spirit of CPC, because this is a very strong tree and the pine tree would never fall. And the CPC, as you know, is leading the whole nation and its people forward through all the ups and downs. And here we have applied a steel-based structure. And here we can also notice the light and the shadows. And this work has a story to tell with Tianjin Municipality, because this whole piece is made by the river of our city, the river of Haihe. Because in the very beginning, it's a very flat surface of the stainless steel, and then we have put this piece of material inside the water to let the water of the river to flush over it to form the different angles of the surface. And that work is named after the Long March. It's called the Road of the Long March. And we have also applied some skills of the sculpture. We have applied 30 different layers of the steel pieces to form the total trajectory of the Long March. And you can also notice the traces of the sculpture. It may look quite different in the daytime and during the night. So you can also notice the pattern on the surface of this sculpture even in the daylight. After putting 30 layers of steel together, you can feel the thickness of this whole work and also its beauty. And in the nighttime, it's extremely beautiful because the whole part is lit up. And for our exhibition, until when it will last? And are you expecting many more visitors to come to this place? Yes, of course, because this is a themed light show to celebrate CPC's centenary. So we are welcoming many visitors day and night. What about that work? You have to find a right angle to know its name. This is the profile of Marx. Because the theory of Marx is guiding us forward, so we have used this material to form the profile of Marx. Yeah, we can easily recognize the profile of this great man. As is mentioned before, we have covered a total surface of 34,000 square meters for this light show, and we have 4 major themes. For example, related to the production of the steel and also to the city and also to the centenary of CPC founding. And the majority of the works presented here are from the hands of our young artists. They have fully tapped the potential and their imagination. Today, for people from different generations, they have their own feelings and understanding of the story of the CPC. So we invited artists from different age groups to participate in the creation and mounting up of this light show. And this is the lighthouse, symbolization of the role played by CPC in guiding the development of the country and of its people. We have also applied the same stainless steel in the making of this statue, and on the surface of that, if you look at it more closely, you will notice the effect of the mirror. As you have mentioned before, we have different understandings about the history of CPC, and we have our own ways to celebrate the CPC's centenary. So that's why we have invited so many artists from different age groups to express their own understanding of the CPC's history and the trajectory. And those are the steel tubes. After cutting and manufacturing, some waste of the steel have been reused here, and we have very carefully mounted them together to form this framework. That is very interesting because in the daylight, if you come to this area, then you will notice that it's quite fun to have this very curious assemblage of all the waste materials. And the biggest charm of these artworks is that you can have totally different ways of interpretation of these works. And also, there is very vivid color painted on the surface of this column. Inside it's cement, and on the surface of it we have applied the paints. It's environmentally friendly paint that we have applied on the surface of it because it's the work of a female artist, so you can see how elegant that is. Usually, according to our memory, you will never find these elegant objects scattered on the ground inside a factory of the steel. But today, we have a different story to tell because most of the industrial parks have totally improved their environment, and they have added a lot of cultural traces to their production environment and industrial parks. So today, inside this kind of industrial parks, you can use it or consider it as an educational site for the children, and it's also a good place to take a walk. And to the other side, also a very beautiful sculpture. It's by Mr. Teng Xun, a very famous artist and also a great expert of sculpture from the Tianjin Art School. Those colored steel panels are commonly seen in our daily life, used as the barriers, and now we have made a mosaic assemblage of those colorful panel steels. To the other side of the road, another one put in symmetry with the previously described sculpture. Over there is the instruction board. We can read the 4 different parts on the instruction board and also the theme of this light show here inside our industrial park.
从总体的策划来讲，那么有没有什么特别的想法和心思，要把这几个主题非常完美的，而且又分门别类
For the
地
general design of this show,
其实不用特别，因为我们之前也跟
what is your idea about the 4 parts of a presentation?
他们都很好的展示出了他们这个我们要表达的意
We
向。
have already communicated with the artists invited to mount up their artworks inside this area.
人民大学的教授黄家增老师的一个作品，它上面是用的是云石板，
The
它想表达的
glitters
是那种
of the
像
stars.
闪闪发光的黄色的星星一样的效果。然后底下呢则是
We have applied some natural stone material on the top of it,
英雄儿女
and
在这100年
under
有些
that layer of the stone material we have installed some light, so it's
腰带的
就像
very
制作
clearly
丰碑
lit up. And under that, we can see a lot of stars.
在我们整个园区的这个入口这边，对，有一个很好的指向作用。
1921至2021。
对对，100年。
And that stone tablet is located just by the entrance of our industrial
那我们
park.
这一区呢，就更显得文艺一些了。现在突出了一些蓝色的色调。
Just now, we
艺术一点
traveled
因
past
为这一片区域我们的主题叫
a
华彩天地
red-colored
所以
area, and now we have moved into a blue-colored one. Because we would like to present a colorful city of Tianjin to the rest of the world, so we have invited experts and also young artists from the Department of Sculpture of the Tianjin Art School to do the work here.
它叫千锤百炼送辉煌系列。
Over there, we can notice 3 pieces of the light
做
work.
了一个声音，
哦，现在我们看的
We
这叫
can see
锣。
different musical
然后
instruments.
再往前面那个白色柱子那个叫鼓。
对
再往前那是琴，这是一组
对，
是吗？
锣
啊啊。
对。
We can
有什么
see the
讲究呢？为什么
drum
叫这个呢？
是一个互动的，然后有声音的作品，可以给你们演示一下。
还能响呢？
and also the stringed instruments, as well as the gong.
吓我一跳。要这样。
So you can make the sound by
用了力学
yourself.
原理啊，把这个，把这个重金属的声音展示出来了。那我想，鼓和琴也
So
能响。
this
对
is
对
a
对
sound coming out of the
鼓
metal.
是用什么做的？
鼓也是我们自己钢厂本身的用的一个。
So we'd like to try out with the other installation. Just now we have tried with the gong part, and now we come to the drum part.
就千锤百炼嘛，对。
Is that wood?
这个可以试一下。
这能响吧？这个。
No, that is the metal hammer.
千锤百炼。大家
So
看
you
到
can
这
try this out
千锤
too.
百炼送辉煌之鼓啊。
对。
再来看看这个琴啊，这能响吗？
这个其实它是能响，但它的声音非常轻，因为它是一把尺。
And the last part of the 3 installations, this is the
哦，明白
musical instrument.
啊，有那种厚重的感觉，也有很轻的感觉。
You have to turn this around.
哎，巧妙了，还能互动啊！我们再回去看看这个，刚才我觉得这个还挺美的。
So
这
that
叫
is
什么
interesting because people can enjoy some interaction with the installations. What about this one?
它倒置做成一条灯带，对，像
我以为是人的那个雕塑。
Actually, we have first applied the trajectory of the belt and road, and then we put the whole map upside down to form this
它叫生长之
artwork.
路。对，这个作品是天津美院青年艺术家万亚飞的作品。对，它
So it's called the Road of Growth.
它是用钢板进行切割。
It's created by Wan Yafei, a very young artist.
按了灯带，然后白天
We
看
have
的话
cut
是
the
这个
piece of
有视角
steel
往上看
into the
会
shape we
在这个
want, and
整个
then
切割
it's
的钢的时
also
候泛光
decorated
的
by
感
the
觉
light.
对是两种效果，对，也有一个很好的寓意，对，象征着这个在党的带领下照亮了我们整个“一带一路”，对。
It's also a very good symbol showing us that the Belt and Road Initiative is developing further thanks to the leadership and also the guidance of the CPC.
对，其实不是3个作品是一个主题，它这个是比较特殊的，它是3幅作品是一个主题，这是一个人创作的。但是其实我们一共是有100件作品。
Just now we have noticed the 3 installations to form a set. And in total, we have 100 pieces of light work here. So from the previous set of 3, we have 3 pieces. That is 3 out of 100. And now we are walking inside this industrial park, and the whole area is lit up by the light. You can also come during the daytime, but I prefer to come here at night because I believe that it's more romantic and beautiful. This is the standing ox.
提炼出来跟艺术有个结合，这个其实是一个牛站在一个杆上，有杂耍的感觉，对，它有一种临危不乱的气质，对，它比较有意思。
而且这么大的体重站在这个细细的柱子上面，可见功力
This is a very beautiful and interesting statue. It seems that this standing ox is doing some acrobatics.
它是在周边亮哈，这就是艺术家的这种独特的设计啊。
And according to the traditional Chinese old sayings, as the symbol of turning the universe around and also changing the whole trend, creating a new chapter.
哎，等你先别说，我先5个单词，我先看看。
So there are 5 characters here,
其实这个白天看是不是效果更加明显一点啊？
in this board of light.
啊，为人民服务。是。啊，它那个有点风，它会更转动一下，是吧？
So it's to serve the people. 5 characters in Chinese meaning to serve the people. We have more than 1,500 circular pieces here, and all of them are just semi-fixed. So they are movable. So when there's the wind blowing by, and you will find those 5 characters moving a little bit.
有风的话，它应该是不灵不灵的那种哈。这应该是个女艺术家的作品，真的吗？哎呀
And when there is wind, you can also hear the sound. So that must be a work from a lady artist. Yes, exactly. Because usually the ladies, they have more sensitive hearts. They know how to present their feelings through those details. This is another work symbolizing the bridge. Because here in the municipality of Tianjin, we have so many bridges, and the people living here are highly attached to the bridges. We are using the similar circular pieces of metal to form the whole structure of the bridge. It looks like an arch. And it's also a radiant structure.
哎，这个被光影打出来的效果还是非常好。看来红色在这个光影的衬蒙下还是非常夺目的。
This one is also very beautiful. Anyway, red color is always the right one to pick if you want to present something with the light during the evening. We have cut the whole piece and also do some sculpture work to recite the history and some milestone events during this 100 years of history of CPC. And we have also applied the techniques of this paper cutting. Actually, we are doing the cutting of the steel, but it looks like the paper cutting. Because the whole topic of this light show is colorful Tianjin, so we are applying different colors during the work. Since we have too many works here, we cannot cover each one since we have more than 34,000 square meters. So we would wrap up here for this part of Tianjin. Dear viewers of CCTV, I'm now in Changsha City. I'm by the river of Xinjiang. And now I'm at the back spot to admire the beauty of the light. In recent days, the city of Changsha has presented to its citizens the beautiful light show along the river. We have mounted this dynamic show of the light, and also the show is accompanied by the fireworks as well as the show of the drones. And many people in the nearby cities have driven to the city in purpose to admire this beautiful show. If you cannot be here in person, you can still follow our camera, and we'd like to show you around the beautiful light show in the city of Changsha. First of all, through the footage captured by our drone, you can see this island of Zhuzhou. And in distance, you can also see the Yuelu Mountain. This is a very important part of the scenic sports. And here, it's exactly by this island of the Zhuzhou. Chairman Mao has written a very important poem to describe the beauty of this city. And over there, you can see the beautiful skylines and also the profiles of the mountains, especially that beautiful mountain of Yuelu. Yuelu is very well known in the whole world for its long history and also the culture. We also have an ancient school of Yuelu by the Yuelu Mountain. On the top of the mountain, you can admire the beauty of the night for the whole city and also the charm of this river of Xinjiang. Today, lit up by the light, the river of Xinjiang looks like a dragon. And also we have the tourist boats traveling on the surface of the Xiang River. By the two sides of the river, it's all covered by the red color. We believe that it's the color of the city. When we are traveling on the river, you can see that the two sides of the river are covered by the curtains of the red, and you can also read the descriptions on the surface of those tall buildings. It's really charming, those poems. For example, those lines from the poems are lighting up the surfaces of the skyscrapers. At the same time, we can also witness some inspiring slogans also cast on the surface of those tall buildings. And all those lines of poems and also the slogans are motivating all of the citizens and also the visitors. In the meantime, people are also stopping by the roadside to admire the beauty of those ancient monuments. During this festival to celebrate CPC's centenary, every evening we would light up the whole area. People would come by the side of the river, especially come to the island of the Juzhizhou to admire the charm and beauty of this light show of the Changsha city. We also have recommended spots for you to stand for a moment. This is the very first bridge to travel across the Xinjiang River. It's constructed in the 1970s. And today we have constructed more bridges for people to come across the river. And it can tell us how much the city has developed. This light show has enabled all of us, wherever we are, to celebrate the CPC's centenary and also to feel this wonderful atmosphere of joy and happiness. And all of us would present our best wishes to our party's future development. All those skyscrapers covered in red color look really radiant and beautiful. And we can admire the beauty of the riverside from different angles. For example, the three stadiums by the side of the Xiang River are all covered by red color. The light has also cast a beautiful shadow on the surface of the water. Now we're about to travel along the axis of the Xinjiang River. Changsha is a city of a long history of more than 1,000 years. We believe that Changsha City is like a giant museum without the building walls. Everywhere you go, you can find the history of that old days of the revolution. And red is the thematic color of the city. And we have applied this color during the light show in order to bring people back to the early days of the creation of CPC and ask people to always remember the road that we have passed by. And today, many landmarks of the city of Changsha are all accompanied and decorated by the red color. Over there, you can notice some slogans saying that we are living in a very happy city called Changsha. It's surrounded by the mountains and rivers. And that is impending giant bridge. And we can see the two figures, 1921 and 2021. Those two figures are sitting by the two extreme ends of the bridge, signifying the long road passed by the CPC. We have to learn the history of CPC and also start to embark on a new road of the long march of our days. And we also have to tell the story well about the people and carry the spirit of CPC from one generation to another. We'd like to make the theory of CPC easy to understand so that everyone could grasp the essence of the spirit. In recent years, 7 clusters of industries with each a value of 100 billion RMB are installed and located here in the city of Changsha. In September 2020, during his visit to Changsha, President Xi has mentioned that we have to create a center and a highland of technology innovation in Changsha City. And also we have to build 4 innovative pillars. So since now on, we have embarked on a new road for the next centenary development. And now what we are seeing is the performance of the drones. We have the fleet of more than 1,000 drones forming with their light, different shapes and patterns. Okay, just now we have admired the beauty and charm of this red city Changsha through the footage captured by our drones. There's another important feature about the light show here in Changsha. That is because it's really dynamic. And how we have enabled this dynamic light show, we have invited a special guest, Engineer-in-Chief, Mr. Jiang. Please say hi to everyone. Good evening, everyone. My name is Jiang Guobing. I'm the person in charge for this lighting project along the river of Xinjiang in Changsha City. Okay, Mr. Jiang, could you please tell us the secrets behind this dynamic light show? Today we have the phase 1 and phase 2 of the lighting project along the Xinjiang River. According to the request of the control center, we have connected the centers of animation of all the clusters of buildings along the riverside to our headquarters. And we have used one button to connect all the buildings along the river so we can animate all of them together at the same time. By doing that, we can ensure that the animation is guaranteed during the light show. Just now you have mentioned that you have the one-button control to enable this light show really animated in Changsha City. Now we have 5 horizontal lines and 5 vertical lines. Although all of those axes are concentrated under the center of our headquarters. We have applied the one-button control system. Starting by 2017 until now, we have been fully dedicated to the application of this lighting project. So with this 2 riverside area and also the 5 verticals and 5 horizontal lines, we make sure that all the participating buildings along the riverside are connected together. I have already enjoyed several light shows here in Changsha, but this time this is the most impressive one and most exciting one. And this time, how much is the area covered by light? Is that a record high? Currently, for this project of lighting, including the phase 1 and phase 2, we have a total surface of a length of 20 kilometers from the bridge of the Houzi until the Sanji bridge. We have total length of 20 kilometers. So they are represented in clusters, right? Yes, exactly. We have 5 clusters. For the phase 1, we have enabled 4 clusters. For example, with the Poly and also the Wanda, and also the financial center cluster, And for the phase 2, we have added one more cluster with the 3 stadiums and 1 park. In total, we have 5 clusters of buildings. So with all the 2 phases of the lighting project, we have enabled the animation synchronized among all the buildings along the river. We can see that those beautiful buildings surrounding us and to which cluster they belong. They belong to the downtown city center cluster. It's also located by the Juzhizhou Island. So you must have followed the whole process of the light show many times after rounds and rounds of repetition. I know that you have used the light show to tell the story, so it's a whole process of narrative. Which chapter of the story you like the most? This time, the whole narrative is based on the poem written by Chairman Mao. It's called the Qingyuan Chun, Changsha. So we have shared with everyone the narrative about different facets of Changsha City. For example, the happy Changsha and dynamic Changsha, and also the history of Changsha, as well as the landmarks of Changsha. My favorite part is about the landmarks. For example, the ancient monuments, some old temples, and also the school of Yuelu. And also the Ma Wangdui tomb, the ancient tomb. Those are the symbols of the ancient culture originating from the city of Changsha and the whole area. I can see how proud you are of the local culture. In total, there are 90 buildings forming those above-mentioned 5 clusters of light, and all of the animation, it's like the 3D effect. How does it work? Because you have participated in the repetitions and the rehearsals, what is the biggest challenge you have encountered during this whole process of mounting? In total, we have more than 100 buildings connected. We have 3 million spots of the light connected to show this picture of the light. It's really challenging because you have to, first of all, install all the spots of the light. We also have the subdivision of the control for the light. For every building, they have more than 100 control subsystems. We have to connect all the sub-control systems and general control systems to our headquarters. That is a big challenge for all of us. And also for all the buildings, you have to do the a modification and also the readjustment so you can best represent the picture of those images. That is the most difficult part, I believe. So could you please share with us the secrets of those 3D images? We have, first of all, realized the design of the animation, and also we have distributed the images to different surfaces of the building. We have carefully distributed all those messages and also the animation pieces to each building. Thank you very much, Mr. Jiang. I know that the success of this light show is attributed to the hard work of each member of your team. And now let the show continue, and please stay tuned to our program, and we're about to show you more details about this beautiful light show here in Changsha. Now what you can see is the monument called the Dufu Pavilion, situated by the riverside of Xiang River. Changsha is an ancient city of more than 3,000 years of history. In 2007, UNESCO has given a name of honor to the city as a city of culture and history. And now you can see the digital fireworks presented on the surface of the buildings. Tonight, the whole city of Changsha is so splendid and radiant. With the major landmarks, for example, the railway station and also the avenue of the Wuyi, they are all lit up by the beautiful lights. And what inspires most is the countless lights of people's residences. Just now, with the chief designer and also the director of this light project, we get to know that they have created this center of control to make sure that during this days of festival to celebrate CPC centenary, the whole area has its buildings connected so we can form the synergy of the animation. Now what we are seeing is one of the landmarks of Changsha City is the Changsha Railway Station. And we can even notice the torch on the top of the monument. It's a symbol of this wonderful life of the people, full of charm and enthusiasm for their future beautiful life. Now we come to the downtown area. People here really love their life. Every day by the evening, people would get together here. We have a well-animated night market and also the hustling and bustling commercial streets here. Now this is the street of Taiping. It's an ancient street. Here is also like an old street for the pedestrians. Here you can find really delicious food and snacks. This is the Palace of Fire, where you can find a lot of spots of entertainment and also the snacks. People are wearing big smiles, and you can tell that they are really satisfied with their life. And also the fountain of the music. The water is moving with the rhythm of the music. This is the International Center of Culture of the Meixihu, where you can enjoy the opera and ballet and other high-end performance. Every year, you can count more than 260 events and performances here. And thanks to the performances here, people's lives have been greatly enriched. And by the side of the river, we have invited musicians play the music. For example, this band is playing the famous piece of music called The River of Liuyang. The concert hall of Changsha, as well as the other buildings, for example, the library of Changsha, are forming a new cluster of landmarks of the city. Fireworks are decorating the sky as it's connecting the past with the future. The light and also the fireworks are also lighting up our road forward. And now I'd like to wrap up this part for the city of Changsha. I'm now at Haikou City. More specifically, I'm now at the Wanliyuan. I'm by the Seaside Avenue, and you can see that here all the buildings are lit up by the red light. And we are also using the drones to show the 100 figure. It's our best wish to the CPC, and we are celebrating the CPC's centenary in our own way. And people from different minority groups in the Hainan Island has also contributed to the victory of our country, and they have also followed the leadership of the CPC. Here, in the past, we have also collaborated with the PLA to free up the whole country. In 1980, the whole island of Hainan has become the province of Hainan. And since that moment on, we have embarked on a road of fast development. And today, we have also become the free trade port and also we have embraced the new chapter of the development. This is the decision of the CPC Central Committee after careful studies of the status quo of this area. And now you can see on the surface of the buildings the space station of our country, as well as the launching of the aircraft Shenzhou 12, as well as the other spatial missions. As well as those submersibles that reached the deepest point of our oceans. And now what you are watching is the stadium of Haikou City, and now by the seaside, with the breeze from the ocean, people are doing some sports and exercises. Haikou Municipal Government has decided to put people first and also to upgrade the whole infrastructure of the city. The government has decided to improve the environment and also to bring more benefits and the sense of achievement to the people. If we travel further towards the eastern side of the city, we can see one of the 8 major landmarks of the city. In the very beginning, it's installed to enable this foreign trade with the rest of the world. This big tower today has become one of the 8 major landmarks of the city. It's decorated by the color of red to celebrate the CPC's centenary. And we can see some slogans on the surface of the monument. For example, we always follow the party, and the party is at the bottom of our heart. This Tower of the Bells has a history of more than 100 years, and it's also a witness of this fast development of the island from the beginning of the creation of the province of Hainan until today's establishment of the free trade port. And now what we are seeing is the ancient part of the street. This is the window to connect the Haikou city with the rest of the world. We have those featured old buildings. After 100 years of founding of CPC, today we are opening a new chapter of the development of this island. We have embraced this opportunity of development as a free trade port. And the people here are also working very hard to upgrade our level of development in order to transform Hainan Island into a very important platform for doing trade with the rest of the world, and also the symbol of the fast development. And now I'm at Room G of Xinjiang Uygur Autonomous Region. As you can see, the buildings surrounding me are covered by red color, and in nighttime, the light show has made the city even more modern. And now we have kicked off the whole light show now.